Don't be afraid to be authentic. Don't be afraid to be your true authentic self and show your true authentic self, to the camera, to the mic, through the songs. Don't be afraid of it. That authenticity is what's key into allowing people to resonate with what you have going on. That authenticity, that pure character, that way you approach your work, the different unique way you approach your work, the different unique way, different things you talk about, the way you talk about it. All of this is adding to your authenticity. I think we make a mistake when we try to really copy somebody else word for word, copy somebody else in the way that they act, the way that they talk, the way that they make music, the way that they create content. We try to really copy people, straight, like not even adding our own way on doing things, not even talking about what we really want to talk about. You know what I mean? What really has meaning to us. We try to kind of hide it and talk about what we think people will like. You know what I mean? When making music, we kind of want to make songs that we want to make songs that we think people will resonate with instead of what we truly resonate with. Once we understand this and once we really, get our minds around it, that's when we start connecting with the people. That's when we start connecting with the audience. So the pure the music is, the pure the videos are, the higher the chances that you will, connect with somebody and people will really resonate with it. They could feel the realness, in the work. They could feel the authenticity in the work. Even though they might not be living the same lifestyle you're living, but there still is an element of, you know, connection there because they'll relate in one way or another. But if you were never authentic, if you were never real in the way that you approached your work, and if you didn't really put your true self into the work, then you have to understand that people might not, connect the way they really should. And that is a shame because art is one of the only things, in this world that is pure. That's really its purest form. You know what I mean? That can be like pure emotion. And however that person decides to perceive it, it's all up to them. But I think we have an obligation, being an artist. And when I say artist, I'm talking about a musician, a content creator, a painter, author, whatever it is, whatever thing is where you put your emotion into, right? Because I feel like those are all different types of artists. It's not just one type of artist. There's many different types of artists. Even in business, there could be an artist in that way, in the way that you talk to clients, in the way that you hold meetings, in the way that you pitch your products. So even in that way, there's always an authenticity in that. It's always important to have the authenticity to be your true self, not being afraid to be your true self, and not being afraid to really put your heart into things, really put out your real feelings into things. Like, shoot, if you want to make a channel, just start recording and speak your mind, speak what you really care about. If it's self-improvement, talk about self-improvement. You know what I mean? If it's books, talk about books. If that's what you're really passionate about, if you really have a passion for books, talk about those books. It might seem weird to an average person or a person who really isn't doing much, but that connection you have with books, there's probably a million other people who have that same connection. When I'm talking on this channel, I'm talking about, art, I'm talking about passion, self improvement. I know there's people out there that really resonate with that. I'm in a position at the moment where I'm building. I'm not where I want to be in life, but I'm sure as hell building. You know what I mean? I'm probably building, definitely building, and you're seeing the grind, you're seeing the growth. I'm building this channel with my music. I'm building the music. I'm promoting every day. I'm working on the craft every single day because I want to make something of myself. And I'm being authentic and I'm telling you that I'm not portraying the image that, I have it all figured out. I'm figuring it out just like you. But I know there's certain things, certain learnings that we could take from what we listen to, from what we read, and we can apply it to our lives. And what I'm doing is, living life, learning from experience, and also learning from other people and learning from the things I read and the way I, reflect and how I kind of perceive it and put it into these videos to help someone else out there. And that's me being authentic, me being my true self, me doing what I'm really passionate about and really feel a deep emotion towards. You know what I mean? I have goals to, be successful, be financially free, financially independent, live life, the way that I want to live it. I'm not ashamed to say that. You know what I mean? And I hope that you have, goals where you really want to be, the best version of yourself. And in order to do so, we have to really get real with ourselves and just not be afraid to be ourselves, not be afraid to be authentic. It's important for us, and we kind of owe it to the world to be our truest version. And that is a hard thing to be, because we're always developing, we're always changing, month after month, year after year, we're changing, right? But let's be our truest self from what we know at the moment, because there's probably parts of me which I don't even know about yet. There's parts of me which I don't know exist. But what I can do is think, okay, I have what I have. How do I use that to its purest potential, its best potential? And how do I use it to, help me become the best version, I could possibly be at the moment, right? The authenticity is so important because it allows for a person to connect to your work, and it allows yourself to really understand a lot more about you. When you listen back to your songs, right? When you listen back to them, you're like, wow, that's really what I'm going through. That's really what I'm going through at the moment. When you're journaling, I don't know if any of you journal, would recommend it, but when you're being authentic and really real about what you're writing, it allows you to understand, parts about yourself which you never really considered or wasn't in the forefront of your mind. Being authentic in, relationships. If you're talking to a girl and you're not being authentic, you're not being your true self, that relationship is just built on lies. And it most likely won't succeed in the future. Whereas if you are being your true self, if you're being your purest, authentic self and not being afraid to be yourself, and she still likes you for that, then that relationship will thrive. Authenticity is so key. When you're building something, when you're building a fan base, when you're building supporters, they want to see your authentic self. They don't want you being somebody you're not. Say you're a rapper and you're talking about drugs, you're talking about money, and then all of a sudden they realize you're not that, or you don't live that. You'll still have supporters, but a proportion of them won't really resonate with you anymore, because it's like, oh, he's not really living what he's talking about, or he hasn't lived what he's talking about. And of course, we don't promote, rap such as that, but that was just an example. So yeah, it's important that we are authentic in the way we live and the way we approach our work, because that authenticity is key, not only to changing other people's lives, but also changing yours. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. I will see you in the next one. Peace.